Hey guys, so I wanted to come on and give an update of our Laby family. We have a lot of things happening and going on, things we need prayer for, but also some praises. So I figured I'd just make a video out of all of this. But okay, so Zach was diagnosed in 2022 of stage 3 colorectal cancer. Today, he is showing no evidence of disease, praise Jesus. But we have learned a lot along the way and made huge lifestyle changes. And the way Zach and I are wired, when we learn something that could help someone else, we just cannot help ourselves but to share it. So we started like a website of things we've learned and an Instagram and Facebook page just to share hope and resources and things that we really truly believe in. But anyways, Zach had done a whole protocol to target cancer stem cells called it's the Beljanski approach, and it's targeting cancer stem cells. So we actually did an interview with them back in October, and they had asked us if we wanted to come and speak at their conference. They're having a Beljanski Integrative Cancer Conference. Here, now it's coming up in a couple weeks, but they're going to have a panel of cancer survivors or cancer thrivers, because you don't just want to survive cancer, you want to thrive through it. So anyways, they had asked if Zach and I want to speak on the Cancer Thriver panel. So we had said yes, even though it makes us kind of nervous. But they had asked if we want to have a booth at the conference, like a table that's set up, for us. So when people are walking around, people coming to the conference, they can come and meet us. So I'm like, yeah, we'll take a booth. Like, that would be cool. And then they asked, well, what do you want on your booth? And I thought, oh, I don't know. Like, our smiling faces, that's all we have to offer. But one idea that came to mind is that I could write a book. I could write our story, our journey through cancer. So, long story short, I tell Zach at the end of January, I want to write a book. I want to write our story out, and I want to bring 100 copies to Beljanski and have at our booth. So we have more than just our smiley faces. And I think Zach kind of thought I was crazy, but I was able to pull it off. Okay, here's the funny story. Here's one thing I do want to share. A lot of you, like 111 of you, bought my book the first week that it was out. And I was so thrilled, very happy. Thank you. But you know what happened? I was supposed to have gotten an author proof copy first before it went live. And I was waiting all day at the edge of my seat, literally at the edge of my driveway, waiting for my author proof copy. I was so excited. And Amazon delivered the package, and the bag was empty. Like, it had the receipt in there that said, "We delivered your book." No, the bag was empty. Here, I'll show a video. I self-published on Friday through Amazon, and they are supposed to be bringing me my author copy today. So here I sit, refreshing my track package page online, and they say it's out for delivery. So FedEx has gone by, UPS has gone by, so here I sit. But I am so excited about this. It just feels so surreal. There were so many hurdles to... This might be it. Hi.
I do need to get a picture by your door first.
Oh, okay.
Is it? This might be on the next one. It's not it.
Wait, what is this? So I did get the package, but the receipt is inside, the book is not. They forgot to put it inside the package. it's funny looking back, but I was like crushed. I ended up going in the house and crying because I was so devastated. The thing was, I was kind of keeping this whole idea a secret to my mom. And so in my head, I was like, I get to tell my mom. I get to tell my mom. I get to tell my mom. I just wanted to take my author proof copy over to my mom and tell her, look, I wrote a book. And then the book never showed. So all of my disappointment was really wrapped in the fact that I have to wait longer to tell my mom. I ended up going over there and showing her on the computer. But okay, so the book went live and 111 of you bought the book before I even saw it. Well, some of my friends and family got the book and they opened it up and they started reading and they were noticing that where all of the apostrophes were missing. And then there was also random capital letters in the middle of sentences. So they assumed it was like a printing error because of how consistent. It was like a whole space where the parenthesis or where the apostrophe should be, there was a space. So I was so upset because I thought if I would have gotten my author proof copy, that wouldn't have happened. But regardless, that doesn't matter. So I had to go back into the formatter, the person who formatted this book. I went back to them and it was a huge ordeal because they thought they fixed them all and then there was still more. Oh, so many pages, so many late nights of going through each page line by line, trying to find all of the missing apostrophes. And I'm so sorry. It really bothers me that there's 101 copies out there of missing apostrophes, but I'm letting that go. I'm letting it go. So, anyways, the new book is out. It's live. This is all of the apostrophes should be in here. So, I will link the book. You can get it. I'll put a link or something. Anyways, so well, you know what? Let me tell you why I wrote this book, first of all. So I wanted to bring this book to the conference because there's going to be a lot of people there who are in the thick of battling and healing their cancer. People who are looking and searching for hope and help. There's going to be a lot of really, really neat doctors and speakers and other cancer thrivers, other survivors that are going to share their story. And so there are people in the trench right now who are waiting for PET scan results or waiting for the next appointment with their oncologist or laying in bed awake at night because they're just the only thing they can think about is losing their loved one. So I wanted to write a story of hope for people. This is not a book about how to survive cancer. In so many ways, Zach and I still feel like we're in the trench. Like anytime he has a little symptom of anything, if he tells me he has a headache, I assume, oh, the cancer is back and it's in his brain. Like I go into this fight or flight response with any kind of symptom. So I go back to what I call in my book, the land of panic, often still. So this is not a book of how to survive cancer naturally. I do share what we did. Zach did not do any chemo or radiation. He chose to have surgery after he found all of the root causes. We discovered like every root cause that led to his cancer diagnosis and corrected, fixed, detoxed, all of those. And then he had surgery. So the oncologist was really stressing, pushing that he would do chemo after or before surgery, actually both. But we decided we were going to take an alternative approach and do non-toxic therapies, and we did a lot of juicing and smoothies and salads. Zach went on a 90-day juice fast where he only drank juices and smoothies and ate salads for 90 days. It was intense. And then since, he has stuck with the plant-based diet where he just completely overdoses on nutrition every day. But anyways, this book does share what we did, but more than that, it shares how Zach did this very well. I did not. And you can read all the ways that I did not in this book. But this whole story is about how Zach was so patient and so he had a total quiet surrender to the Lord. He did not rush things. When I was like banging down every single door, Zach was still. He was at the feet of Jesus. He found himself at the foot of the cross. Really, his knees were bruised because of how often he was on his knees, seeking the Lord diligently, asking God, what is next for me? So I wanted to put all of that into a book. I think it's so common when someone gets a cancer diagnosis to be so scared, to have so much fear, and everything moves so fast. It's so quick. You have this appointment, then that appointment, then this blood test, then these scans, then your port placement, and you don't even have time to pause and to think about anything. And it's such a rushed and quick thing. But Zach had enough courage to pause, to slow down, to get to Jesus and listen to his voice. And the whole book is to help those who are scared. It doesn't even have to be cancer. I want more than anything to help. I wanted to reach out of the pages of this book, grab the scared person's hand and pull them down from their fear and get them to Jesus. He is a good shepherd. We have to be good sheep and listen to his voice. And that's what Zach did so well. He was in the throne room. When I'm over here, like in so much fear, the only thoughts that can consume my mind was that our kids were not going to have their daddy. And he's just in the throne room. I never knew someone could be so close to heaven while still being down here on earth. Anyways, I think I explain it better in my book, but Zach was able to listen to the sound of the shepherd's voice. He knew the sound of the shepherd's voice, of God's voice. And he had enough courage to slow down and to hear his voice and ask him. Zach would not move an inch. He didn't take a step forward until God gave him 100% peace. And that was in everything, in the alternative and holistic approach and in the conventional world. I mean, he knowingly left a tumor in his rectum, which made things very difficult, eliminating stool. His tumor was blocking his rectum by 2/3. So he had all sorts of troubles with eliminating, but we won't go into those details in this video. You can follow us on Instagram, but I talk more about symptoms and stuff there. But anyways, Zach knowingly left a tumor in his body for 11, almost 12 months, almost a year, simply because God just did not open the door for him to have surgery. We had to address every root cause first. So anyway, I share our whole story from symptoms and diagnosis to where we are today. Something actually happened at right before I had sent all of the manuscript to my editor, and then that same week we got blood tests back, and there was a number that was like, ooh, that's not normal or right. And so I told my editor, I need to write this. I need to put this in the book. So this story goes all the way up to current date. It's April 2025, and I was still writing in March. So it goes all the way from the beginning to March, the end. So anyways, yeah, so that's really exciting. I want so badly to get this book in everybody's hands who is fighting cancer. And, you know, when you self-publish, you have to like market yourself, unfortunately. So I hope this doesn't sound, I make less than $5 per book, okay? Amazon takes like all of it. So I'm not trying to like sell my book here. This is the part that I don't like. But I really do. My heart's deepest desire is for everyone who is in the trench of any kind of illness, cancer, autoimmune, heart attack. I mean, literally anything, any health battle you're facing, or maybe not even a health battle. If you are in a crisis and you need to pause and listen to the sound of the Father's voice, I hope this book can speak to you and to help you. We want everyone to know the truth about Jesus. I get emotional because this is like, I know that Zach and I were meant to be married because this is like our calling in life. We want the whole world to know Jesus. So I hope that this book will do that, and that we can spread the word that he's a good God, and even in the scariest, most painful times in your life. I know a lot of you, we've had a lot of close friends who have not healed on earth, they have healed in heaven, and that's a completely different journey, a completely different story. And I encourage you, writing this book was so therapeutic. So write, share your story. I'm just a mom. I homeschool my kids. I'm pregnant with our 6th kid, and it's like, I just want to share our story, and I want you to share your story, what the Lord's doing in your life. Write it, share it. So that's what we did. If you're interested in the book, it's on Amazon. So anyways, let's think. I don't know what else, I guess, to update on. We're going to speak at that conference. We're super excited about it. We're having a baby. It's a girl. I don't know if I said that. Yeah, God is good. So anyways, thanks for watching. Again, I'm so sorry to the 111 of you who are out there reading your book without apostrophes. It's just so silly how things happen. But one really cool thing, and then I'll wrap this up. So the person who formatted this lives in Nigeria. And I know through a few other people that he is not a believer. And so as frustrated as I was that my book was missing apostrophes, this formatter, who's not a Christian, who lives in Nigeria, doesn't know the gospel, had to go line by line through my book looking for these missing apostrophes and random capital letters. Because whenever he would fix the apostrophe, it would make the first letter capital. I don't know why. So he had to go line by line through this. And I thought, you know what, God? If the only way you were going to get your word into his heart, I won't name him, if that is the only way to get your word into his heart, then so be it. Missing apostrophes, capital letters, like he had to go line by line through this, which is the gospel. This is the story of Jesus lived out. It's fleshed out, taking all those verses in the Bible and showing how someone can flesh it out, what it really looks like to live a life of surrender to the Lord. So anyways, I guess I'm thankful that 111 of you have a terrible, terrible copy, because this made my formatter have to go line by line through my book. So anyways, okay, this was very long. If you made it to the end, well done. Thanks for letting me share and give this update. Okay, bye.